What's up, guys? I want to show you this quick play because there's been a lot of debate about line height. Well, for one, line height's also in reference to how the defense attacks, right? Not just the defense, but the team in overall. So you see the computer's team there, Cardiff City. They're past the halfway mark. We see that oftentimes in football, even when they're leading right now 2-1. So I get a good clearance here. Goes to their right back. I managed to muscle off the ball. So I find my forward, he does a good steal there, and I plays it off to his teammate. What you see as a result here is what I talk about with it being on transition. I'm going to use the different camera angle here. In transition, this is what transition basically is, guys. This is what I'm talking about with that line height. If you don't have line height where it's at, you don't see this defender right there. You see him maybe in the center circle or right before the center circle. So that means I've got about 10-15 yards to run in open space with 3 players essentially marking me. So I'm not sure if any coach would ever want their team to have that happen. Possession is a big deal, and if you're winning, you want to maintain that they don't have possession, right? So he starts to back off, but he's here. You know, the center defender is here. He's there to make his presence known. So instead of just running right down the field until they meet head on, he just pushes him out of the way just a little bit. So we try to burst through and cut in eventually until it's taken care of. So that's what I mean by line height and the advantages it has. So if there's something we can do about the super high line height that's set up right now, then by all means let's figure it out. But let's remember that we want to keep the realism. And look here on the other side as well that I defended, right? See, line height's affected here too. We'll go all the way to the computer's attack. Now see, people would say this is a pretty high line. Well, why is number 5 dropping back, right? Why are they going to a more staggered position, right? An offsides trap is more along the lines that there's nobody really up top. They're basically straight in line to prevent an attack, and so they go offsides. People think if you have such a high line that they're just going to get beat over the top. Well, where's the ball that can go over the top in this instance? Everybody's being marked, right? It takes some skill to get past my defender here. Go a little too tight and he's able to cross the ball in. But look at the shape here. Look how they're not completely out of sorts. And they're not like hugging the goalkeeper. They're not going to run into each other. But it's relatively where they should be. Right in front of the 6-yard box, right? And that's what you get. So, and then it becomes this transition play that you can possess the ball longer or you can be stifled by the defense. So that's basically just an understanding of kind of the line height idea. It's not necessarily anything to do with being offsides. You know, it does happen, I'll admit. That's why I'm open to modifying it. However, look at all the benefits it does have. And you guys that say you can just go over the top constantly, then there's something wrong. You haven't set it up the right way. My personal suggestion would be 1, increase acceleration for the computer, have a discrepancy. If we can already burst through the computer, it only has to do with acceleration and marking. So what I'll do after that is I keep marking for the user at 50. I'll actually drop the computer down by 2. And you'll see if I get the ball here. If I get the ball here. It's a good ball down the line. So see how at the top, let me try to keep the ball.
Made the challenge
There we go. So if I try to go over the top, see, it's well defended. And I want to show you guys really quick. That looks like I could have had a shot there. I was actually kind of getting excited because that was going to be a good one. Let's look at the shape here. This has turned into a little bit more educational video than I expected. So here my back has the ball. He sends it up, right? If this is an offside trap and they're truly playing a high line, they stay in their line right there and they don't drop back. But notice how all the defenders are dropping back to cover. Right? One of them makes a play on the ball, and we'll focus on the guy who did make a play on the ball. I believe that's their center back again. Alright, so here we go. So he's up, and now I'm on transition. The reason why they're so high up still is because they're still in transition. But the minute they lose the ball, and we've got it, they're already starting to drop back. See that space right there? Even more so. And now, let's say he did have it. Well, he's got 1, 2, 3 guys still right there. So just some food for thought, guys. The idea of line height's there. I'm willing to drop it if we can figure out, but you know, Orion and I can't be the only ones testing these things. These specific things. Not reinventing the wheel with your own, other ideas. That's fine. You can bring that up. But right here is where we can really fine-tune the current community slider set that we have going on. So just a message to you guys, make sure to keep an open mind and experiment with line length, line height, and see what comes of it. Alright guys, well, have a good one, take care and stay tuned. And here's another transition play right here. So the computer playing around loses the ball. They're down to 10 men because they already got a red card. But here I come down the flanks, right? Oh, not that easy. That's another contribution of line height, guys. You can't just sprint right down the flanks on a breakaway. The defender has to make a decision. He either cuts off and marks these 3 guys all together, or he notices that he takes a big first touch here and he goes after him. So it doesn't happen if line height, if line height's as high as it is on a zonal setup, he pretty much will just stay right there. There's no threat to him. He's not into his threshold yet. But here he is. Why? Because this game is dictated by man marking. Yet again. And so he's pulled into that direction. But it only happens with line height and marking. And the fact that the game's built on man marking, it proves it even further. He's locked in. He goes for it. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to get across to most guys, that we have so many great thoughts on Operation Sports and everywhere else, but we have a lot of group thinkers, meaning like to think in a group but don't like to actually explore why they do what they do, and can't really accept FIFA is such a great defensive game. Yeah, but it's built upon the wrong principles and fundamentals of not soccer. So you gotta take advantage of where it comes from. So if line height is as high as it is, he wouldn't be making this decision on a zonal setup. But he sees it there and breaks up the play. It's the little things like that. And see, my defender does the same thing. Granted, he goes in a little hard. But that's kind of just want to show you guys a little bit more of just the ideas of it. Here I'm not even 30 minutes in and they've already got 3 fouls on them, 2 yellow cards, 1 red card. The red card came from 2 yellow cards. So second yellow. Tackles, it's a good match overall. So guys, just keep an open mind, like I said.